Credit card companies have slashed credit limits for tens of millions of consumers. So what does that mean for you? 3 on your side, Susan Campbell is joining us now to explain why this is happening and how you should protect your accounts. Good morning, Susan.
Good morning. Yeah, this is all about economic uncertainty. A couple months ago, we warned you this could happen. Now we know it is happening, and analysts say it's likely to continue. According to a new survey by Compare Cards, almost 70 million cardholders had a credit limit reduced or an account closed by a lender in the past 60 days.
And it's happening involuntarily. Basically, the banks are seeing that people aren't using these cards, and banks are kind of nervous about all the risk that they see out there now.
Matt Schultz from Compare Card says most of the credit reductions were for $1,000 or less. But on the flip side, 22% of people said their limits were slashed by at least $5,000. We asked if there's a way to prevent future credit limit cuts.
The next time you go to the grocery store, use one of those cards that you haven't used in a while instead of your primary card. Or if you have a Netflix or a Spotify subscription, consider switching those monthly subscriptions to a card that you don't use very often. Those sorts of things, that activity can keep those cards alive and make them a little less likely of a target for banks.
In most cases, Schultz says a lender is not required to give you notice if they're cutting your credit limit. But right now, most lenders are. According to the survey, almost 90% of people who had their credit limits cut said that they did get notice from their lender about this cut that was on its way. Olivia.
That's an important heads up also, Susan, because you know that affects your credit score. The more available credit you have, the stronger your score can be. So if you cut that down, you're changing that whole equation, right?
It's such a great point. Yeah, and that's what people are going to be grappling with as they see these credit limits shrink and shrink and shrink. So important to pay down debt if you can.